Welcome! We're so glad you're here. We know this is going to be a fabulous exchange program for you. And in order to help you acclimate to your new home and culture, we want to share with you some tips, some tricks, and things you need to know. This way, you'll have the most successful program possible. So let's get started. Tips and tricks. Show respect by saying thank you, and you're welcome, and please frequently and often. Punctuality is important to many Americans, so be on time. Show appreciation and participate in the family. Whenever possible, eat with your family. Join in meal preparation and cleanup. So, you might have noticed that standards of modesty are different in the US, and are even different in various regions of this country. The USA is a modest culture and nation in many ways. You may find your ways of dressing challenged. They might be challenged by your host family, by your teachers or administrators at school, or even by the friends you make. We remind you that you are a guest in this culture for a brief time. An easy way to show respect to your host family, your school, and your new community is by listening to their requests and how to dress and wear your clothes. We know this can seem silly, especially when you may be used to wearing certain clothing items or not wearing certain items when in your home country. Please choose not to be offended when an individual of some authority, such as a school teacher or a host parent, informs you that your clothing choice needs to be changed. They are concerned about what is acceptable, and they know better than you what is considered appropriate within their community. What you may consider a common or acceptable word in your home country and culture may be a slur or a curse word in the US. Should you become aware that what you have said is unacceptable, first apologize and then modify your speech not to use that word. Look at these photos. They look different, don't they? You have arrived on your exchange with many expectations. Some of these expectations you are aware of, and some you may not be aware of. For instance, you might expect a beautiful, clean home with meals prepared for you. You may expect someone to do your laundry. You might be expecting adventures around every corner. You may anticipate that most moments will be filled with laughter and excitement. Some of these expectations may be correct, and they will occur. However, many, if not most of your expectations will not be a reality. We want to let you know that you will experience different ups and downs during your exchange. See this wave, the ups and the downs? During your exchange, you will experience a range of feelings. Stop and think back about some of the feelings and emotions you have felt this past week. You may have felt excited, and yet you are also very tired, perhaps more tired than is usual. It is normal to feel fatigued when in a new culture. You might need more sleep than is typical. This is healthy and good, and a way for your brain and emotions to adjust to all the new stimulation and experiences. You are going to feel homesick. This is also normal. It's expected, and it's healthy. You will miss your home, your family, your friends, your food, because everything is different here. Then you'll begin to feel more normal and settled. And you'll notice the homesickness. It'll come back, especially during times of importance or special events that occur back home. These can be really hard times, such as the holidays. It's also the halfway point of your exchange for most of you. Many exchange students will feel sad frustrated, even a little depressed during these months. We want you to know that you are not alone, and these are normal feelings to have. And then you'll hit a stride again, where this place, this family, this school, and these friends, it feels like home. And you'll start to anticipate leaving the USA with feelings of sadness. Remember, enjoy the little moments. Soon, they'll be over. Homesickness looks like spending too much time alone, isolating. It looks like spending lots of time speaking with family and friends back in your home country. It looks like feelings of loneliness and crying, feelings of anger or frustration, sleeping more than usual, fatigue. Here's what makes homesickness worse. Again, spending too much time on your phone, speaking to friends and family back in your home country, remaining away from your new host family and your new friends. Here's how to make homesickness better. Tell someone. Share how you are feeling. Find someone you are building a relationship with and express to them that you're homesick. Talk openly and often with your local coordinator. They're here to support you. And finally, we cannot emphasize this enough. Limit the conversations you have with friends and family back in your home country to no more than 2 times a week. We know this is hard to not speak with your friends and family back home every day. But we promise you, limiting the time you speak with those you love back in your home country will help you build relationship with your new friends and your host family. Be an active member of the family. Trust your host parents. They know American culture better than you. Be respectful. This looks like listening, showing gratitude, saying thank you, helping with chores. In American culture, the importance of verbal appreciation cannot be overstated. We promise you, you cannot say thank you and please enough. Be specific and thank your host parents and your host siblings for the little things and the large things. Thank them for rides to school. Thank them for rides to friends' homes. Thank them for letting you have your friends over to your house. Thank them for meals. Thank them for outings. Thank them for trips. Every time they take you somewhere or do something, even if it's the 100th time it's happened, say thank you. We understand that in your home culture, asking direct questions may be common and that causes no harm. However, in some regions and communities in the US, asking why or asking a very direct question may communicate challenge and can come off as disrespectful. For example, your host mother may say to you, "You cannot wear that shirt. It's inappropriate." Your response might be, "Why?" Or, "How is it inappropriate?" These are good questions, but phrased this way, they are direct responses and may cause disunity between you and your host mom. Instead, you might say, "Oh, I didn't know this was inappropriate. Yes, I'll change my shirt. But can you share with me what is inappropriate about it so I can learn?" If you have an attitude of curiosity and a desire to learn as opposed to being correct and having your way, you will maintain a good relationship with your host family and community. Listen up. Your host family, they are volunteers. They have graciously chosen to make you a part of their family and home. They are not a hotel or a resort, and they are not responsible for your happiness and caring for your every need. You are. Program rules. You are responsible for always maintaining a C or a 70% grade average in school. Homework is important to achieving high and passing grades or scores in American schools. You will be assigned homework, sometimes daily. Be sure to complete these assignments and turn them in on time. This prevents you from having a failing grade later. Many exchange students come from school systems that allow you to have a failing grade until your exams, and then a passing grade if you do well on those exams. Not so in most American schools. Grades and scores in many American schools are highly dependent upon the completion of assignments throughout the semester. You are responsible for always respectfully following your host family's rules. You are responsible for following all local, state, and federal laws. And under no circumstances are you permitted to do any of the following. No driving or operating a motorized vehicle of any kind ever while on program. No drinking alcohol, not even to just try something. No drugs or substances, no smoking or inhalants or vaping of any kind while on program. No sexual acts with any other individual. And no violence. This includes bullying, fighting, threatening, and yelling at people when angry or frustrated. But what if you turn 18 while on program? Should you turn 18 while you are on program, or you are 18 now, you are still a program participant, and you are expected to follow all International Experience program rules all the time. What does a typical day at school look like? And what are you most looking forward to? Taking a bus, meeting new friends, and having meals with them? Some exchange students are looking forward to joining sports teams and clubs, joining the marching band, trying new sports, joining the cheer squad, going to American football games, and sitting in the bleachers with your new friends. Whatever you choose to do, do something. Joining clubs and teams and trying out for sports, being active. This is the way to make friends. We know from vast experience that exchange students who make friends the quickest and easiest have chosen to join clubs and sports immediately. So don't wait. Get involved. Students, please remember that it is important to speak in English. We know it's easier to speak your native language when with others who can understand your language of origin. However, while on exchange, it is English only when you are with others and friends. Rules are to help you build healthy and safe and engaging relationships with others while on your program. Students who are focused on romantic interactions and dating neglect other important relationships and aspects of their exchange, such as sports and academics and friendships and time with your host family. Host families will have reasonable boundaries and rules for how to interact with others. Ask them what these rules of engagement are. As a member of their home, you are expected to respect and follow their rules. And again, No student is permitted to engage in any sexual activity with others while on program. Should you do so, you risk the termination of your program. Warnings and probations. Choosing not to follow International Experience Program rules may result in one of 3 attempts at improving your program experience. These 3 attempts are a verbal warning, a written warning, and probation. Should a behavior or activity prove to be problematic or serious enough, you potentially risk being placed on probation without warning. All warnings and probations are shared with your host parents, your home country and agent, and your natural parents. Dismissal and termination. Should you be involved in any of the following, your program may be terminated: violating local, state, or federal law, refusing to follow International Experience Program rules and standards of conduct, demonstrating an inability to adapt or adjust your behavior, and having received verbal and written warnings and placed on probation, an inability to make sound decisions for health or safety and well-being, and requiring ongoing medical or mental health attention that cannot be supported while on exchange. Let's take a break, use the washroom, get a snack, ask some questions. The purpose of your exchange is to immerse yourself in your host family, your school, and your community, to live an American experience. Having your natural family and friends visit is very disruptive to your program. All visits from natural family and friends will only occur at the end of your program and must have prior written permission from your regional director. All travel will be approved by your regional director. Any travel request must be submitted at least 2 weeks before the planned travel, or you will not have permission to travel. Holidays and school breaks. Students, you are not to make travel plans away from host families during major United States holidays, such as Christmas and Thanksgiving. Students, you will not travel away from host families without regional director approval. Travel with peers outside of the local area is not permitted, and no student may hitchhike. Ride shares, such as Uber and Lyft, are to only be used in urgent situations. Overnight travel must be approved first by your host family and chaperoned by a responsible adult at least 25 years old. For international travel, you must inform your regional director at least 4 weeks prior to a trip's estimated departure. You will not plan any international trips at the end of your program unless you will be flying directly from that international location to your home country. Students that leave the U.S. at the end of their program are not allowed to re-enter the U.S. This is a visa requirement. We also understand that you may want to travel to see other places in the U.S. Please, don't worry if your host family has few or no travel plans during your time spent with them. International Experience offers opportunities to travel with a partner organization called Bello. Bello specializes in student travel experiences. Bello is a separate organization from International Experience, and Bello will email you within your first month or so on exchange, providing you with trip and travel information. However, should you not receive this information, let your local coordinator know, and we can help you contact Bello. You might recall reviewing a brochure during your pre-departure orientations in your home country titled Staying Safe. We want to take the time right now to remind you that your safety is our number one priority and focus, and we need you to have this as a priority also. So let's take a moment to remind us all of some valuable information. Always be cautious of making and building relationships with others on social media. When you meet someone online, be sure to never share personal information with them, such as your location, school, your date of birth, or other information that can lead to someone learning details about your personal life. Never send or share personal or intimate photos of yourself, even if the person you are engaging with online sends a photo to you first. Information and photos you share can be used to exploit you or cause you harm. And never agree to meet in person someone that you've met online. If you have a problem or a concern, please share it with your host parents, your agent, your natural parents, your local coordinator, or any safe adult so that the adults can make sure you are safe and not being exploited. Spending money and finances. You are responsible for your own personal expenses. Personal expenses include school and sports fees, meals if purchased at school or school events, such as a sports game, hygiene products, electronics, your phone and media needs, outing and activity money, and money for travel. Your host family will provide reasonable meals, but should you desire special foods or a particular diet, you will need to join your host family in going to the store and purchasing your desired items with your own funds. Do not loan or borrow money. Should you be having or should you encounter any money issues, we will help you. It won't take you long to see that most problems and issues arise due to miscommunication, lack of communicating, or confusion in language and culture. You will have miscommunication issues. When you have a concern or an issue or a confusion or even an offense, do not keep it to yourself. Share with your local coordinator, your regional director, or the student case manager. We are here to help you navigate these relational issues. Here are ways to solve problems. Communicate. Communicate your issues, your concerns, your frustrations, and your problems with your host family. They can't help you or address an issue if they don't know about it. Also, share your struggles with your local coordinator. Student reports are another way to address problems. These reports help you share with international experienced staff how you are doing. These reports are not seen by your local coordinator. They are viewed by other IE staff. No gossip. Do not speak negatively about your host family to anyone other than international experienced staff. It can be difficult to maintain trust with your host family should you begin to share information about them in their community. Speaking negatively about your host family can harm their lives. It can harm their social lives. It can harm their family. It can cause significant hurt to you and your relationship with them. If you have difficulties, let us know. We will help you navigate them. Remember, when you have an issue, you have people to support you. You can share with your host family, your local coordinator, and your regional director. These individuals are best placed to assist you, not your agent or natural parents back home. Your health and safety is our main priority. We can only help you if we know what's going on. Here are the people who can help you the quickest: your host parents, your local coordinator, your regional director, and the student case manager. Your local coordinator creates and submits monthly reports on how you are doing in academics, in your social life, and in relations with your host family. Your local coordinator also reports how your host family feels they are relating to you. Student reports are required. You must complete these. You will receive monthly reminders. And these reports are not viewed by your local coordinator. They are viewed by other IE staff. This is a great place to share problems. Changing host homes is rare and will only occur after all problem-solving attempts have been made. Your local coordinator, your regional director, and the student case manager will assist you if problems become difficult to solve. Your school, your host family, and international experience will set rules on phone usage. Always follow these rules. This is a program requirement. These do's and don'ts are to create and maintain safety. They are for the protection of you and those around you. There are dangers in this country that are unfamiliar to you. How people interact and even rules and regulations on the internet differ from those in your home country. Do's. Do share your location with your host parents for safety. Do think before you post. Ask yourself, can this post cause harm to me or someone else? Could I get in trouble? Do always have a charged phone when not with your host family. Or just always have a charged phone. That's a good idea. Do share positive experiences on media platforms. Don'ts. Do not share or post locations or your personal information. This is for your safety and others. Don't meet strangers from the internet. This is dangerous. What does a successful exchange program look like to you? Great academics, marks, and scores. Lots of friends. Playing sports. All of these are under threat if you spend your time on your phone. Trust us. Put the phone down and engage with those around you. Eat the meal with your host family. Sit and watch the show with your host sibling. Go on a walk with a friend. Your phone will be there when you return to your home country. These relationships and experiences will not. Community service and volunteerism is a truly American experience. Communities throughout the U.S. have built a culture of coming together with neighbors and friends to accomplish a goal. In fact, you will find it difficult to meet a citizen of this nation that does not engage in regular service to their community. In the U.S., we call this volunteering. The opportunity to participate in this valued American activity is a fantastic way to find and build friendships. To assist you in integrating and to give back to your host community, each student is expected to fulfill 5 hours of community service per academic semester. That is a full 10 hours of community service if you are here for an academic school year. That's it. We suggest and encourage you begin volunteering early on in your exchange. This will help you cultivate the opportunity to get to know others in your new host community. And don't worry, your host parents and your local coordinator will be able to help you find opportunities for community service. It's easy, truly. Walking an elderly neighbor's dog, volunteering at school, helping a teacher, volunteering to work at your host family's church. Opportunities abound. Keep in mind, students who complete their volunteering and community service requirements early will be entered in to win a trip to an iconic U.S. city. So, let's go. We'll make some new friends, do good in the host community, and you'll stay active and relational. Listen up. These requirements must be in place, or you will not be able to remain beyond the end of your program. Remember, the end of your program is the last day of school. So you must be in good standing with your host and with IE, and you must have no active probation or warnings. For example, should you have no warnings or probations, you have excellent academics and scores in school, and you have followed IE rules all year, but the relationship with your host family has grown tense during the last month of school. If you are not in good standing with your host family, you will not be invited to remain with them past the end of your program. So, remaining in good favor and good standing with your host family all year is critical to receiving an invitation to remain up to 14 days past the end of your program. This is the circle of responsibility. You can see it's international experiences responsibility to provide you with a safe home and host family, to provide you with a school to attend, and supervision from your local coordinator and regional director. It is your responsibility, your job, to maintain your academics with passing grades, to join sports and clubs, to stay active. It's your responsibility to successfully make friends and keep and maintain your relationships. It's your responsibility to manage your happiness with a positive attitude and outlook. We have a general order of operations for communicating with agents and natural parents. Your agent and natural parents are back in your home country. Exchange students. We, i.e., staff in the USA, are best situated to help you when an issue arises. First, tell your local coordinator and your host family of your need. These are all individuals poised to help and support you in that moment. They are motivated to assist you. Many times, a student has contacted their natural parent to share a need or an issue, or they call or email their agent, and they do this before they contact their local coordinator. Your local coordinator can help you most times. When a problem arises, remember your natural parents and your agent are thousands of kilometers away, and they don't know this culture as well as we do. Your LC and your regional director can mobilize immediately when necessary to help you. Okay, students, we are almost done with orientation. But first, we're going to go over a few things that should have happened already during your first week. Firstly, you should have a cell phone and a SIM card with a US phone number. This is mandatory, and you must have an operating US phone number the entire time you are here on program. You need to have these numbers in your phone. You should have the number of your local coordinator, and they should have yours. You should also have the number of your regional director. You need to enter the numbers of your host family members. Also, please enter International Experiences emergency number. You can call this number in case of an emergency and your local coordinator and your regional director is unavailable for some reason. You should also completed the host family worksheet with your host parents. This is located in the student handbook. If you haven't done this yet, please complete this worksheet with your host parents today. Also, you need to have downloaded and printed your medical insurance and ID cards. Keep these with you at all times. This is in case of a medical emergency or even for non-emergencies where you need to visit the doctor. If you are having trouble printing these, please ask your local coordinator for help. They will help you.